Good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining us to celebrate this great milestone for our university and our community. I want to thank our many special guests, including Governor Andrew Cuomo, Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, as well as our government and municipal partners and our neighbors in the community. We are pleased to be joined today by several of our regional healthcare partners, including Kaleida Health, ECMC, Roswell Park Cancer Institute, HWI, as well as friends from the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus Board and leadership team. We are also grateful for the presence of senior leadership from Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority and First Niagara Bank and Foundation. We are pleased to be joined by many UB faculty, staff, and students, as well as UB Alumni Association President Mary Garlick Roll. I would like to acknowledge our generous foundation partners, including the Oshai Foundation, the M&T Foundation, the Patrick Lee Foundation, the Margaret Wendt Foundation, and the James H. Cummings Foundation. And I want to thank the Seminole Real Estate Corporation for their hospitality in welcoming us into their beautiful new Conventus building today. Like our new medical school building, the Conventus building is part of the exciting transformation in our great city. It doesn't seem very long ago that we were here on the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus to break grounds for the new medical school building. Standing on that vacant lot, it was exciting to imagine the incredible possibilities. It started in 2011 when Governor Cuomo signed NY SUNY 2020 into law. Thank you, Governor, for doing that. We shared a vision for the future of our university and our communities. And it was a vision enhanced and embraced by Governor Cuomo and our Western New York delegation. Our vision is about transforming Buffalo into a world-class destination for the best in medical education, clinical research, and patient care. Our vision is about building a place where people will come from across the state and nation and around the world to seek out life-saving therapies as well as patient care. A place where the next generation of top physicians come to receive the state-of-the-art medical education and fully leverages our city's healthcare resources. A place where leading physicians, clinical researchers, and medical educators can all gather under one roof to share knowledge, test new ideas, and make discoveries that save lives around the world. A place at the heart of a vibrant Buffalo community. Today, that vision is becoming a concrete reality. And as we bring the Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences downtown to partner with the hospitals and research facilities of the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. You only have to look outside the window to see just how much has been accomplished since we put that first shovel in the ground. It is not often that we get a chance to see the future being built right before our eyes, but that is exactly what is happening in Buffalo. We have so many people to thank for this progress, from the architects, construction managers, the contractors, and hundreds of skilled workers who are building it. We would not be here celebrating this moment without the strong support and advocacy of our elected leadership across the state region, starting with the governor. From the beginning, Governor Cuomo's support has been critical in our vision for moving the medical school downtown as the heart of the world-class academic health center. We are honored to have him here to celebrate with us today. Thank you, Governor. We also would not have reached this milestone without the generosity of our donors and university friends, beginning with Jeremy Jacobs and the Jacobs family, for whom our medical school is named. It is now my great privilege to introduce Mr. Jeremy Jacobs, Chairman of Delaware North and Chairman of the UB Council. We are grateful that he and so many members of his family and his Delaware North team are with us today. Jerry?
I would like to thank Governor Cuomo for the large investment that New York State has made to the medical school and to the entire university. And I also want to thank President Satish Tripathi, Dr. Kane, state, city, county elected officials, and the tradesmen working hard on this magnificent building. When this project is completed, Buffalo will have the finest medical school facility in the country. Of course, its success will be based on its people, the faculty, physicians, and students who will share knowledge across their disciplines and between theoretical and applied science. The physical structure of this building will enable interaction in state-of-the-art research labs and classrooms. Yesterday, I had the pleasure to meet with 3 students from the medical school class of 2018, the first class that will graduate from the new building. They were excited for the amenities that the new space will provide, the location of the school to downtown medical campus, and its physical connectivity to the nearby institution is intentional. It will create a continuum of learning and collaboration for Western New York healthcare professionals. And it will attract the best doctors and students as well as patients seeking care right here in Buffalo. I look forward to cutting the ribbon and welcoming the first class of students. And it is now my pleasure to welcome my good friend, our great mayor, Byron Brown.
Thank you very much, Chairman Jacobs. Good morning. It's certainly a great pleasure to be here with all of you, including our great governor, and warmly welcome Governor Cuomo back to the city of Buffalo. Let's give the governor another round of applause. Certainly, Governor Cuomo is here often and continues to be a great advocate for Buffalo, Western New York, and the entire state of New York. Buffalo continues to make headlines around the world and was recently listed as one of 10 global cities, I'm paraphrasing, that has done the impossible and transformed itself. Projects like the University at Buffalo's $375 million Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences are a significant part of Buffalo's remarkable transformation. The Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences is a historic development for the University at Buffalo. This is the largest construction project in the university's 170-year history and a shining example of the growth taking place in the city of Buffalo. This project is a reminder that every day we are cementing Buffalo's status as an international leader in medical research, teaching, and world-class patient care. I applaud UB President Satish Tripathi's stewardship of this project. Let's give President Tripathi a round of applause. Certainly also want to recognize the work of the Dean of the Medical School, Dr. Michael Kane. Let's give Dean Kane a round of applause. And again, the tremendous support of Mr. Jeremy Jacobs and the Jacobs Family Foundation. Let's give them another great big round of applause. support. This building, and more importantly, the people who will study, teach, work, and make scientific discoveries here will help improve the lives of people in Buffalo, across New York State, and beyond. The unprecedented level of investment by our state in the city of Buffalo under the leadership of Governor Andrew Cuomo has had a profoundly beneficial impact. We have been working with the governor and his office to ensure that the investment and prosperity that is growing in Buffalo benefits all sections and segments of our community. I thank Governor Cuomo for his confidence in our ability to change the reality here in Buffalo as we continue to make Buffalo the hottest city in America. Please join me. That's right. Please join me in welcoming one of the best friends that Buffalo and Western New York has ever had in elected office, the best governor in America, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, what a beautiful day. First, I want to thank the mayor for that very, very kind introduction. It's amazing what $1 billion can do. Mayor Byron Brown is a great testament to the point that leadership matters. And who the mayor is and who we elect in office can make all the difference in the world. And the mayor has done truly a magnificent job. And what a legacy and what a record. Mayor Byron Brown, let's give him a round of applause. We have our great Lieutenant Governor with us, Kathy Hochul. Pleasure to be with you, Governor. Mr. President Satish Tripathi, great job, really great job. Dean, it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you and congratulations. And to Jeremy Jacobs and the Jacobs family, you know, they are a model of good corporate citizenship, remembering where you came from, philanthropy, generosity. The Jacobs family and Buffalo are so intertwined, and your entire family has been so beautiful to Western New York. We can't thank you enough, Jeremy Jacobs and the Jacobs family. I see a lot of white coats. You know the joke about the doctors and the politicians. I have an older sister who is a doctor, actually, and my father used to kid that she was the smart one, so she became the doctor. And I became the politician. And it's the old story, the mother has two sons, and they're always a little competitive, a little jealous, and one goes to medical school and one goes into politics. And the one who was in politics always felt that he was not quite the mother's favorite, and he's always working very hard, and he starts as a local councilman, then becomes assembly, becomes a congressperson, then becomes a U.S. senator, then he runs for the U.S. presidency, and he wins the U.S. presidency, and finally he feels vindicated, and he calls his mother, and he says, I want you to come down to Washington for the swearing in, and mother says, okay, if you need me to come, I'll come. Mother comes down, the mother's sitting in the front row, and all this grandeur and pomp and circumstance, and they're about to swear in the next president. And the mother leans over to the person who's next to her and says, you see that man who's going to be sworn in as president? He says, yes. He said, he's my son. You know, his brother's a doctor. So I'm a little intimidated by all the white coats. All I can say today is wow, You know, you're here every day, and I don't know that you appreciate fully the transformation that has been taking place. And this is a transformation. Dr. Tripathi saying just 5 years ago, we were looking at an entirely different situation. 5 years ago, we had people leaving Western New York. There was no future here. Taxes were high. The business climate was bad. And it had been that way for a long, long time. 75% of the new companies would move out of New York State within the first year. We generate the ideas because we had the brilliant institutions. But because they thought the New York economy didn't have a future, Western New York economy didn't have a future, they literally moved within the first year, 75% of the companies. And that was a bleak, bleak prospect. And 5 years later, there is a total transformation 180 degrees. I mean, it is really amazing. We announced just last week a company, Athenex, which 5 years ago would have been gone. Athenex is a company that came out of UB, one of the real treating cancer. They're going to develop their company here, 500 jobs in Buffalo, 900 jobs in Dunkirk, $1.6 billion investment, because they believe in Buffalo, and they believe in Western New York. We did AMRI, which is literally going to be in this building. And you just look around, and you can see the synergy, and you can see the positivism. Children's Hospital, the new medical center, Roswell expanding, Buffalo General, the positive energy building on the positive. Just like for all those years, the negative begat negative. Now positive is generating more positive. And it's such a pleasure to see it. It didn't just happen, right? It took a lot of work by a lot of people who cared. The name of this building is Conventus, Latin Conventus, coming together. And that's the appropriate word as we sit in the midst of all this amazing development. There was a coming together of your governmental leaders, the mayor, the county executive, great philanthropic enterprises like the Jacobs family, great academics, Satish Tripathi, who had been doing brilliant work for a long time, private sector businessmen, John Comel, everyone comes together, worked together, and cooperated, and you have turned around Buffalo. It is not even close. Now, there was one party who was always absent from the coming together, and that was the state of New York. The state of New York was just nowhere to be found when it came to helping Western New York, or, by the way, all across upstate New York. Upstate New York was invested in manufacturing. The economy turned. You had to readjust the economy. That wasn't easy. You needed someone to help you through the transition. And the state government wasn't, and hurts me to say this, was not focused enough on upstate New York. That's what changed from our point of view 5 years ago. That's what the mayor knows, because the mayor was in Albany as a senator. And he saw that the whole focus was, frankly, on downstate New York. And we turned the lens and we said, no, the downstate economy is doing very well, by the way. The upstate economy is where we need the help. And as we're one state, if you grow the upstate economy, it helps the entire state economy. Started with the Buffalo Billion, which was a great idea for Buffalo. It was a very bad political idea for me, however. When you said Buffalo Billion, it offended every other city in the state of New York for good reason. Rochester, they wouldn't talk to me for 2 years in Rochester. But it was the right investment. Buffalo had the greatest economic need, and we wanted to make up for all those years that the state was not present. And we wanted to say to Buffalo, this is different. It's not like one of those other plans that you've heard before. We're serious. And that's what the $1 billion said. It said serious. It said different. But the work was done here. The work was done by you. We were an investment partner and proud to be an investment partner, but it just unleashed the entrepreneurship of New York. And you have done a phenomenal job, and you have blossomed. I'm in Albany now arguing with the legislature about the budget. not really arguing, discussing for about 5 minutes and then arguing. And my point is the same. We have proposed the largest investment in the state's history in upstate New York, $25 billion. Continuing to cut taxes, because that's what's working for us. New York has no future as the tax capital of the nation. Investing in broadband. There are places in upstate New York that still don't have broadband. Infrastructure, roads, bridges, and economic development. Because Buffalo is now the shining example of what you can do. Last point, Lieutenant Governor said to me on the way in, what we were doing last night. 5 years ago, Buffalo was used as a characterization of urban blight, right? And a city on the decline. Was literally used in late night skits 5 years ago. Last night, I'm in Albany, in the Executive Mansion, with 3 cities, Rochester, Southern Tier, Central New York, trying to figure out how to replicate the success of Buffalo. How amazing is that? In 5 short years. That's why Howard Zemsky isn't with us today. He is the Grand Duke because he is the guru with all the great lessons of Buffalo. But the congratulations goes to you because you did it. And you did it the way success always happens, by putting aside differences and by coming together and working together for a common goal with a lot of assets and a lot of talent and a lot of good people that wanted to make a difference. It is a pleasure to see what you've done. I look forward to continued investment in Western New York and continued investment in upstate New York, because I don't think we've seen anything yet. I think we are just scratching the surface, and I really do believe if we keep on the path we're on and we keep working together and we keep investing in the future, the best is yet to be. Thank you for having me today, and congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you, Governor Cuomo, Mayor Brown, Chairman Jacobs, and President Tripathi. This is a very, very special day for us in the medical school, and it's certainly a very, very special day for me. Soon, we'll adjourn to raise the final steel beam into place on the new home of the Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. By the way, we like the new home. We're very thrilled with it and can't wait to move in. I would like to take a moment on behalf of President Tripathi, Chairman Jacobs, myself, and everyone else at the University at Buffalo to thank the many organizations and individuals whose collaboration and hard work have made this moment possible. Specifically, I'd like to thank our architectural firm, HOK, our general contractor, LP Simonelli, our construction management team from Gilbane Leroux, all of the other firms, organizations, and subcontractors noted in the program that you have with you that you were given today. The State University Construction Fund, our community partners, especially the Allentown Association and Orchard Community Initiative, all of our neighborhood businesses and residents, and of course the hundreds of workers on this project, many of whom are represented by the Buffalo Building Trades Council, who are outside on the job right now. Will anyone from these groups that I mentioned who are in the audience please stand for a moment of recognition? I also want to personally thank and recognize my faculty, my staff, my students, UB senior leadership, and all who have devoted hundreds of hours to this project. We prepared to move to the medical school's fifth home in our 170-year history. We celebrate not only the magnificent new building outside these windows, we also celebrate the progress, as you've heard, it symbolizes in advancing what we exist for: medical education, medical research, economic development, and the public health in Buffalo, Western New York, the nation, and the globe. Now, some instructions to follow. I'd like to ask the speakers and the Lieutenant Governor and the Jacobs family to join me as we exit and walk across and sign the beam. After we leave, our guests that have joined us today invite you, after we leave, to go outside and stand on this side of the street so that we can all watch the final beam be hoisted and sited in the new building. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me.